Hey guys, hope you had a great week, and honestly, I hope you had a great month. I mean, not May, but obviously April, but it may come to a surprise to absolutely nobody, but I like music. Why is that not a surprise? Well, I mean, let's be quite serious with ourselves, right? Who doesn't like music? Music is one of the most amazing things that we get to experience in this world. Music is basically the bridge between like emotion and anthem, basically. Like, you can have like the soundtrack to the best day ever, or you can have a true blue playlist that just kind of encompasses all of the feels, or you can have music and be your theme of victory as you decide to go out and overcome your obstacles, or it just basically entails a whole boatload of things that you get to actually experience through music. And I love music. Like, it's just kind of like an aspect, and like, a quick rundown of the history of music for me. The short version I will go over with you guys, because the long version is, in case you haven't seen the updates so far, that's what we're going to do next month. We're going to have a music month where basically I'm going to go in depth about all the different types of music that has impacted me during my entire life. But the short version goes, I've listened to all sorts of music ever since I was younger. I'd say as a kid, music wasn't as big, but there was like the first time like ever like heard a band that I thought like I really really liked was probably like Gorillaz when I was like 10 or something like that, because like they're admittedly catchy and they're cartoon characters, so like why wouldn't a young Atlashine be into that? But like the first like band that I feel like I really really liked, and I didn't understand it then as much as I understand it now, was like Linkin Park. And a quick kind of I guess like demographic summary of myself. I am like, I guess best way to put it is my father's half of my family is black, and my mother's half of the family is like mayonnaise white. So when I got to hear Linkin Park for the first time, it was like, hey, wow, it's both of my peoples, and expressed in like one type of music. It was like actually really cool. Like hearing like rapcore for the first time, it was like, this is where I belong type of thing. And I didn't have their albums. My sister had their albums, but I loved them so much. Like Meteora and Hybrid, they're like really cool. But then like I got older, and my version of listening to music was just kind of like, I used a what helped me get into like other type kind of the next stage of music was, there was a, like, how you had Windows Media Player, and then there was also a Real Player at the time, and Real Player came with a built-in browser, and then if you use the browser, you could then click on a song, and it would play it onto the Real Player. Like, it would, like, basically, like, you click it, and then, like, you would save the link, and then play the link through the Real Player, and, like, during that chapter of my life, it was basically just a whole bunch of video game music that slowly turned into, I got to the Live 365 portion of my life, which was like online radio station, and I would use that to listen to like a lot of anime theme songs and soundtracks and whatnot, many of which I didn't even like know. Like, I never listened to them. It was just, it was what I had to listen to. It was like pretty cool, admittedly. It was during my teenage years, back when stuff like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, and Gundam Wing were like really popular, or maybe not really popular wouldn't be the word, but like they were playing on Adult Swim late at night, and I was like into that stuff. And then later on, I would say like I got into my first real genre of music, and that's not to be insulting towards anybody who thinks like video games or anime music isn't real. Obviously, it's real music. I'm not trying to discredit it. They play instruments, and they're a heck of a lot talented. More talented than me. I mean, I'm just over here playing Animal Crossing, talking about the things I like, whereas you are not supposed to be in my chair. What are you... Bro. That's my fault. It's my fault. I put the chair out so that slimy anteaters can just sit in my chair, who aren't even from here. Like, seriously, why are you here? At least the hippo had the decency to stay on the outside of my property. Man, I sound so old. Get off my property! Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, It was probably late into high school that I first came across the music that would pretty much define the majority of my adult life, which was one of the two types, which was basically just modern rock and roll. People like Nothing More, Asking Alexandria, Memphis May Fire, stuff like that. They came around this time. The very first band that I actually liked I was playing Rock Band. That was the game that got me more into rock. And the first band of that variation that kind of got me into it was when I was listening to The Devil Wears Prada on Rock Band. The song was "Hey John, What's Your Name Again," and that pretty much like I'm not gonna say it like it's like a bad thing. It's like that was like the downhill. Like my taste in music pretty much became like defined by like how much I like rock from pretty much from that point forward, and like it wasn't a bad thing. It was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it, and since then that's just kind of like been my main thing. The other type of music I like, it's like a long like chain of events that led to me liking this kind of music, but it was basically, it's not rap or hip hop, even though I do like some rap and I do like a lot of hip hop. But it's spoken word, where it's an emphasis on the lyricism that matters more than anything else. That's kind of what it came down to for me, and that's where I got to discover people. Like it started with Akira the Don, but then went to Sage Francis, and then went to Aesop Rock. But then also like because I like the Gorillaz way back in the day, Clint Eastwood was featuring Del the Funky Homo Sapien, which then connects you to hieroglyphics, and then next thing you know, you listen to like A Tribe Called Quest, Talib Kweli, and then like somewhere along the line with the whole Adult Swim watching that, I started getting into stuff like MF Doom also, and it's just those are pretty much like the two like pillars, like the big two pillars of music for me in my life. If I'm not listening to one, I'm probably listening to the other. And I guess the third one, if I had to pick a third pillar in my music, it's probably just I've been around the streams. I do listen to like some lo-fi music here and there, and I mean it's just cool, relaxing jams. I like that, but it's just so important, like how music is in people's lives. Like, I remember there was a time where my preferred music. It was a very brief time in my life, but it was back when I liked country music. Now, this is again not an insult to people who like country music, but like it was just very weird for me because like I was just a young kid and like I don't know what it is. I guess I just didn't really like listen to like the other genres of music. So it was like, all right, cool, country music. We'll check out country music and see what that's like, see what that's about. And it was like pretty much like all I had on the what's it called? I had a little teal or turquoise, whatever color you want to call it, radio. It was like a AM FM radio, and I would just kind of put that down, and like I would. There we go. That's cute. Perfect. Got the little ocarina there. I was going to sit down and play it, but shoot, I don't know how that's going to go. But cute little setup right here. I like it. It's a cool little area. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I think we might put a lake, like a pond or something over here at some point also. But we'll see how that kind of manifests itself. But what I was saying was, I had a little AM/FM cassette radio. It was cassette radio. That's how old it was. And my earliest memories of music was sitting in a mostly empty room. I don't know why it was mostly empty. I don't know if we just moved in or in the process of moving out, but I remember like the room distinctly had like nothing in it. And I was sitting there and I was listening to just country music on this little cassette radio, and it like clearly it meant enough because I had a memory of it. But the full details as to why, like I couldn't tell you the exact reasons that led to me having that memory in that moment. But since then, like music has defined a lot. I've been to a few concerts here and there too. I went to some like low grade concerts back when I was a lot younger. We're talking about like playing like in the glorified auditorium where the acoustics are terrible and the bands aren't much. Oh, sleepy little Biff. He's all tuckered out from being an absolute menace to society. Normally, I would wake these animals up when I catch them sleeping standing. Normally. Oh, man. But, my first real concert was I got to see the band Nothing More, and my wife. No, it wasn't Nothing More. It was Memphis May Fire, and they weren't even like the main act. They were a supporting act for I can't remember the name of it. Neither of us cared about who the main act was. Basically, we were there for Memphis May Fire, who was second on stage, and because of that, I did get to experience the first band. The first band was a group called Currents, and yeah, I'm a fan of Currents now because of that. They're really, really extremely talented, and I just really enjoyed that. And since then, like I've been to a few more bigger concerts. That's one of the cool things about liking rock music is that you get to actually enjoy concerts. No offense to people who like the other genres of music, but they're typically not that impressive, in my personal opinion, in concert. And by that I mean I like spoken word, hip hop, rap, whatever you want to call it. But admittedly, it's most of the time just a guy talking over an instrumental track. It's not like they're playing the instrumentals right there in house. Some of them kind of do, but a lot of them really don't, and that just is what it is. And I don't know. I've watched pop. I typically am not a big pop fan, and part of that comes down to is just like they're doing the exact same thing. They just kind of are talking over a track. I mean, admittedly, they're more melodic than the what the spoken words might be, but that's why spoken word has a higher bar to clear. Basically, you have to be very creative with words, which is why I appreciate guys like MF Doom has like a really interesting delivery of music, whereas Sage Francis is very deep in the meaning behind the songs that he makes, and then Aesop Rock is just. If you've heard of him, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But basically, he's the kind of guy who can use. He's the kind of guy who can put 5,000 words on an album and only use like 10 words more than twice. And you'll just be like, wow, this guy's like super talented. And he really is. And you got fleas, girl? You got fleas? Hold up. I got you. I got you, fam. Come here. Run right into the... Run right... Girl, where are you going? Come back here. She's just... No, not my fleas! There we go. She's just like running away. Like, man, she's so mad about her fleas. I always find it interesting when like she has fleas, but then like when she has hair, but like when like my frogs get fleas, like you can program this game to where frogs don't use umbrellas, but you can't program it to where they don't have fleas. Like whatever, it is what it is. But yeah. I don't know where I was going with the music, but basically music means kind of everything. Everybody's wished to be a musician one day. Me, I learned how to play violin when I was in school. A violin along with the obligatory, what's that thing called? Recorder. If you don't know what a recorder is, bless you for not knowing what a recorder is, because if I could unlearn what a recorder is, that'd be fantastic. But I can't. So, basically, if you want to know what a recorder is, it's a glorified flute that nobody respects you for having skills for being able to play. It's basically all it is. Like, not saying that there's no talent in using a recorder. No, there's lots of talent in using a recorder, as with any instrument. It's just, if you're looking to be respected as a talented recorder player, it probably isn't going to happen. I hate to be that guy. Probably not going to happen. There's just nothing. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, I don't know. Like for me, I guess the equivalent would be if you're really good at Photoshop versus you're really good at hand drawing pictures, where somebody might be like, oh, okay, but like, can you draw? And you're like, yeah, I mean, I can make some pretty pictures. And then you show them your pictures, like, oh, that's just Photoshop. And you're like, I mean, yeah, but like I edited it. And it's like, oh yeah, but like I thought you had like skill, and it's like they have skill. It's just not the skill you were expecting. So if somebody says, yeah, I play an instrument, and you're like, oh, cool. If you're expecting them to play like a drum or a guitar or a violin or like an actual flute or something, that's on you. Curb your expectations, broham. Um, but if they play a recorder and they play it really well, then shoot, that's good enough for me. I mean, I consider that good. I was never good, but then again, it was basically just to teach kids how to play instruments. Basically, all you really got to learn is like Jingle Bells and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Um, which if you learn Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you basically learn the alphabet. But then you like play it like a little concert for your family, like, oh, that's so cool. And then nobody ever asks the question of like, how many mouths were on that recorder before my kid got that? Yeah, if you ever played a recorder and you never had that thought, I'm sorry, but now you have that thought. Now you get to contemplate like, oh my goodness, I hadn't even. Wow. Just imagine. It's usually like per one grade. Just imagine the ugliest, or not maybe the ugliest, but like the smelliest, least hygienic kid who is one grade above you, and imagine they're the ones who had their mouth all over that recorder before you got to use it in your grade. And now you're just gonna be like, why, Atlas? Why? Why did you have to say that? Why did you bring that up? Why are you that person, bro? Go home. Go take a nap. Like. Everything was perfectly fine until you had to bring up the fact that nobody knows how hygienic a recorder is in school. But, I mean, maybe next time you go to learn a domestic instrument, you'll ask yourself that very same question of, who had this before me? Real talk, who had this before me, and why do I want to play it now? Anyway, with that food for thought to ruin the rest of your evening, a quick reminder, next month is, or I guess this month, is Music Month. Each week I'm going to go over a different topic of music all throughout the week. Week 1, I believe, is going to be just kind of like some of my road picks, stuff like anime music or video game music, stuff like that. Just like fun little stuff. Maybe some Monster Cat, throw that in there too, because clearly I like Monster Cat. I believe week 2 will be the spoken word, where I'll go into a little bit more depth about people like Sage Francis, Aesop Rock, MF Doom or whatnot, or just like in general, like that kind of music. Week 3, I'm going to talk about my personal, I would say it's my favorite if somebody asked me, but it's probably my second favorite type of music, which is rock. And the only reason why rock is probably like my second favorite is because I'll wrap up the week with letting you guys in on what I call like emotional music, not like emo, not like it's not so much depressing and sad. It's more of just like the real deep cuts, if that makes any sense. And you guys can I'll just kind of like let you in. Because I have like my own personal playlists on that stuff, and usually kind of explore stuff like 90s rock as well as Midwest emo, the actual emo stuff. But it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go over all that stuff with you guys. Let you guys kind of basically let you peek into my playlist and understand what kind of stuff that music-wise I'm into. And I think it'll be fun. You guys get to learn a whole lot about what kind of music I like, as well as hopefully you guys will give me some feedback. Let me know what kind of music you like, and if there's any type of artist or whatnot that you really appreciate, please let me know, and I'm going to listen to them along the way. Basically, I'm going to spend just as much time listening to what I like as much as I'm going to listen to what you guys like. But if there's one thing that I like more than all the rest of these things, it's I like being able to spend this time with you guys. You're all absolutely amazing every single time. I really appreciate being able to have these moments, have these wonderful one-sided conversations, and I like when you guys give me the feedback in the comment section as well. Let me know what kind of music you like. So if you haven't already, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hang out with us, and it's gonna be fun. But until next time, you guys have been absolutely amazing. I love you all. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you very, 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 very soon.